Welcome to the Everything Embodiment podcast, where I will help you find peace, understanding, and love all within your human body, enhancing your mind body connection through the exploration of vast ideas, concepts, and modalities. Discussions all meant to propel you along your own unique spiritual journey. I'm your host, Amber Miller. In this episode of Everything Embodiment, I sit down with Amanda May, spiritual mentor, manifestation expert, and CEO of Manifesting Miracle Worker, for a grounded and deeply human conversation on healing, embodiment, and building a soul-led business. We'll explore Amanda's journey from trauma to transformation, how she built a thriving spiritual business from lived experience, the truth about manifestation beyond the aesthetics, what embodiment actually means, identity work, purpose, and rebuilding your inner foundation, the difference between mindset work and true energetic alignment, and how women can create personal and business breakthroughs. Whether you're on a healing journey, building a business, or stepping into your higher self, this episode offers practical and emotional insight from two women living the work every day. So, Amanda, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Amber. Thank you so much for having me. So excited. I was so excited when you asked. So happy to be here.
I have been wanting to get you on here for a long time, and then the timing felt right, and I'm glad it all worked out. So, to get started, I want to go through everything, but you have built a whole brand around personal transformation. What was the moment you realized your life was going to change?
Okay, so there's so many moments. So hard to pick just one. Okay, well, I think like in the very beginning of my journey, I was like really deep in the throes of addiction and I had no money to my name. I had spent my childhood savings on drugs. I was in between, I think it was right out of college because I had spent an extra year in college than most people. And I lived out at school for a while. So sometimes the timeline is a little foggy to me, but it was like right at that moment where I had graduated. I was working in journalism. I really wasn't making much money at all, and I was still dealing with a lot of these demons. And I had basically rediscovered manifestation because I was given the book The Secret while I was in college, and I think I never really sat with it. When
Yeah.
I sat with it, it was like I had sat with it a million times before, like I was just remembering something and it was kind of like, oh yeah, this is exactly how things are. And I remember from there I was just in a very dark place. I remember doing a Google search. I had to make money fast. So I Google searched how to make money fast and manifestation came up. And like all of these things, it was pretty much at the same moment that, in the same time frame that I had read The Secret, started dabbling in this stuff. And it was like another thing that said manifestation, right? Like something else was like pulling me towards it. And it was at that moment that I'm like, oh, money manifestation. Like, yeah, that makes total sense. Let's do that. Let's look into this. And I was obsessed with it. I couldn't stop reading about it. I couldn't stop learning about it. It was absolutely wild. And it just took me down this rabbit hole that at the time, it was like I was always very into, I guess, esoteric type of topics and where we're from and what we're doing. And I was always pretty spiritual in many different
Mhm.
senses of the word, I guess. But that was a much different part of my journey. And it kind of like opened the doors. It definitely opened the doors for the deeper healing elements. And then it was like, it's almost like a line. It's a squiggly line, but I went down the line.
I
So I
love
opened
that.
one door. Yeah. And then I kept going through more doors down the line.
People don't talk enough about how trauma impacts manifestation. What did you have to heal or face? You mentioned addiction before things started shifting for you.
Yeah, I
Or
always
did things
say,
shift even before you did the healing? Let's hear that.
yeah, I always say, like, people are not drawn to this work because their lives are perfect for the most part. Some people may have amazing, perfect lives. I don't think anyone has an amazing, perfect life, right? But like, some people may have these amazing, perfect lives and they're awakened, and it's like a soul remembering. But for the most part, we are really drawn to this work because there's some kind of deeper sense of self-empowerment, self-healing, relationship to self, relationship to source and God and spirit and the universe around us that we are being called to deepen. And it's funny because so many people, I remember I would just always feel like totally outcasted. Like everything I did was wrong. I had to hide so many of my issues and my problems and my addictions. And it was like I couldn't really be me. And then when I started to open up to the spiritual community and I met people who were like me, they were actually like me. And everyone had
Mm.
their own story. And it was incredible. And these are the types of people that allowed me to see that there are other people on this planet that are just so full of love and acceptance. And I wasn't alone in the world. So that was another huge, huge piece of the journey for sure.
That's so amazing. Oh, I love that. It's funny too. I think about my own healing, spiritual, everything journey, and it started with The Secret. I was like at rock bottom, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try
Yep.
The Secret. There's nothing else to do. You talk a lot about becoming the highest version of yourself. What does that actually mean for women in real life?
I love that question. Oh my gosh. So, a lot of what I do, and it evolved, like my work and my business really evolved so much over the years. It's going to keep evolving, right? Just as we evolve on our
Yeah.
self-healing journey and our spiritual journey. And I realized it was like a I would look back on every moment, every hardship, every trauma I had overcome, every tough lesson I had to sit with, every healing moment. And then also the great moments, right? The things I manifested and all of these amazing things that happened when I was in alignment. And I realized it was like every single one of these things was a bit of my higher self teaching me. So yeah, and it's like I truly believe that we are here in Earth School. I think Earth is a school, and our higher selves choose to be here to learn. So to learn the human experience while learning how to hold the duality of the divine experience as well, because we're both, right? Human and
Yeah.
divine, the spiritual piece. And every lesson we learn brings us closer in alignment with that divine part of us. And that's
That's
kind
really
of
well put.
yeah, and that's how it's like it was wild because every time I looked back, I'm like, wait a minute. This brought me back into alignment or closer into alignment with my higher self. And this
Mhm.
brought me closer into alignment. And then every time I feel like I'm in alignment, really awesome, crazy things happen. And it's amazing how much it's intertwined like that.
Yeah, that's really well put. I like how you worded that. I know you've been talking more about embodiment. What's the difference between mindset work and embodiment work? And why do you think so many women get stuck in just the mindset part?
Yeah. Okay, so this is one that's actually very personal for me. When I started this journey, especially going back to like what I was just talking about when I really first discovered manifestation, I was very into the mind piece, the belief piece, which I believe that beliefs are probably the most important uh part of this whole entire reality construction that we have.
Yeah.
But we also have to go deeper. So I was really focused on the mind. I was also really focused kind of like on the spiritual realms, the meditative realms, the higher self, and I would ignore the body.
Yeah.
But and it really like I remember when it dawned on me because we have different energies that are always at play here. There's the energetic body, the physical body, the spiritual body, and I would ignore the physical body. And the physical body is what I for so many years I was so hard on my physical body. I would put substances into my physical body. I ignored my physical body pretty much my whole entire life in many ways. And then when it came to things like manifestation, I realized that the relationship to our body is really the doorway to the next levels that we desire. Because when we create something, we have to feel that energy in the body. We have to embody it. We have to become the version of us on the other side. We have to embody that energy. And it really happens in the body. So the mindset work is wildly important. The spiritual work is wildly important, but it's the embodiment piece that's really going to solidify this stuff.
That is such an important take. I love how you worded that. I loved how you went into that because it's so real and it's my exact timeline of it too. Manifestation, the mind work, and then it's like, oh yeah, the vessel.
The vessel, exactly. Yes.
On the topic of manifestation, because it's my favorite, what was your first like real big manifestation that you're like, undeniably, this works?
Oh, I have a really good story for that. And I know, I'm sure you've heard this before because I talk about it pretty often because this was the thing that solidified everything for me. Back when I was still doing my Google search, how to make money fast, and I had just read The Secret and all of this stuff was kind of coming into play in my life. I decided I bought a book. I know I've talked to you about this book. E Squared by Pam Grout. Great book. And in this book, it's an incredible book. It's in this book, it's all
Writing it down.
E squared. She also has one called E cubed, but this particular experiment was in her book E squared, Pam Grout, Grout. And she's like super quirky and really cool too. Like she has a very cool voice.
I'm
Uh
on it.
yeah, she's really cool. So I had got that book and it was really it was cool because she kind of went into like the sciencey stuff, like the energetic experiments. That's what they were, really, to prove that our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs create our reality. So one of the first experiments in the book, I think it was like experiment two. I could be lying about that actually. I think it was one of the first experiments in the book. It was an experiment to manifest whatever we wanted in 48 hours. And she laid it out simply. Every experiment in that book has just like a few pages. Like she explains it for a few pages, and then she has a page where you could write in the experiment that you're doing. So this one was, and I still have that page, and I have like tons of pictures of that page too. I just because I'm worried that something's gonna happen to the book. In on that page I wrote, I intend to acquire $500 out of the blue to spend on anything I'd like within the next 48 hours by, and then I wrote the date down. So I
Hmm.
wrote that in the book. And then I started to do what she said in the book, which is like really think about, and I was new, really new to this stuff back then. So I would start thinking about the $500 and feeling the $500 and feeling grateful for the $500 for the first 24 hours or so. And then for the next 24 hours, I completely forgot about the experiment. It just completely left my mind. I had a lot of other stuff going on. I wasn't thinking about it. And that day I was coming home from my boss's house. He lives a couple of exits down from me on the highway. I was coming home. I get off my exit and I was starting to head towards my house when I realized I had left something at his house. I think it was my phone. It was either my phone or my laptop. It was like something very important. So I had to turn back around, go to back to his house. I got, let's say it was the phone, got the phone. Then I came back off the same exit, and instead of going directly to my house, something that at that point said, you know what, just go to the gas station because I had to get gas anyway. Go to the gas station right off the exit. Got gas, went inside, something guided me to get a lotto scratch off ticket. And
Hmm.
I don't ever tell people, oh, go buy lotto tickets to manifest money. Like that's not it. It's just that I had that download. Something was guiding me to the lotto tickets. And
Hmm.
I bought two tickets. And when I scratched them off, it was more than $500 total. It was like $550 on these tickets. And I'm like holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, whoa. I remember the experiment.
And
And
then you can't deny the timeline. Like you did it in 48 hours,
and
and
it happened within the 48 hours. And to this day, I still haven't ever gotten money like that off of a lotto scratch off ticket. Like that was not something that was ever in my field. It was just totally random. Solidified my belief. That's, I think, what the purpose of it was.
yeah, that's awesome. I love it seems like I think I don't remember I know that I had like a few right away when I got into manifesting. I randomly got like this I won an Apple Watch at work and then I won some Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube concert tickets.
What?
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I got Snoop Dogg on my spiritual journey.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Spirit guide.
Right? You're on the online space, you're a big online personality. So I know you've seen everyone's talking about quantum leaps like they're instant. What do you wish that women actually understood about the big life changes and reality shifting?
That is such a good question. Amber, I am so glad you're asking this question too, because people need to understand, yeah, quantum leaps, instant manifestations. Yeah, okay, that can happen, right? Because we live in a reality where anything that can be possible is possible. The field of infinite potentiality, that's what we talk about when we manifest. And that means that we could think up any reality and we can create that reality. But the thing is, we really need to align with and embody the version of ourselves who lives in that reality. And
Mhm.
sometimes it takes time. Our
Yeah.
journeys can take time, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes our journeys are not meant to look like other people's journeys. Sometimes we're not meant to create things instantaneously. Sometimes, yeah, we can accelerate the timeline, but then a little further down the timeline, there may be stuff that we never sat with or never healed or never really released, and then it kind of snaps us back even further.
Yeah.
So it's like so important to think about the overall journey and the whole journey. And then the moment you make peace with the present moment and you stop trying to push so hard, that's when the leaps happen. The moment you truly start to embody that next level identity, that's when the quantum leaps happen. But it takes work to get there. And then when you look back, you're gonna realize, oh, okay, all of this happened for a reason. That's why this played out the way that it did.
And I'm just thinking, my mind is just piecing it all together. That's why you got to do the embodiment work so the nervous system can hang on to the quantum leap that you're calling in and aligning with. So, yeah, it's all tied
It's
in.
Actually, I had yesterday, I was talking to one of my clients in Voxer, and I was telling her all about you've probably heard about this. And we talk about it a lot in manifestation. Lotto winners. I don't know what the percentage is, but like the majority of lotto winners go broke after winning
Yes.
big. And
Yeah.
that's exactly like what you were just talking about. They don't have the embodiment piece. Their nervous system isn't set up to handle it. Their beliefs aren't wired in such a way that they are able to receive and hold and then expand the money. And therefore they snap right back to where they were because none of that work happened in between.
That's so interesting. This is a side note. I may even edit it out. I just wanted to share. We at work we were talking about someone was saying how like really wealthy people just move slower and everything. And I was saying how because they were in Miami. They're visiting Miami and they were saying that like the like ultra rich that they like encountered just have a different like energy about them. They just seemed a little like smoother. And so I was saying how I remember watching Below Deck, and one of the yacht girls was saying she's like, I don't like dealing with new money because they're not used to it. They're impatient, they're demanding. The old money, they're used to the best. They expect the best. They're not in any rush because they just know it's going to get delivered. And I was thinking, what an interesting thing to tie into the embodiment mind work. These are people raised in wealth. They don't know anything else. They just expect it. And it was just really interesting to tie those together when I was talking to my coworkers.
Wow, I never heard of that really. I mean it makes sense, but I never really heard of it like laid out the way you just did. Wow. It's
Right?
such
But like when you
it's
think of it, like,
like wow. And I'm just like racking my brain right now too, like just wow. Like it makes so much sense. And it's such a teachable thing that you could take out and explain because it's something that we can understand when we hear
yeah,
it that way. And
yeah.
yeah, wow. You just blew my
Anyway,
mind with that. That's amazing. Yeah, no, I love that one. Oh my
it
God.
popped in my head. I'm like, I think I need to sit with this.
Wow. I think I'm gonna sit with it after our call.
For anyone who's new to your world, what is Manifesting Miracle Worker and what do you actually do inside the brand?
So it's funny that you asked because I was just going to make a Threads post that says, "So what do you do?" Right? Because like when we, because those of us who have spiritual businesses in general, us entrepreneurs, when we get together with the family for the holidays, so what is it that you do? And it's not always easy to explain the
No.
multi-dimensional work that we do. So what do? I created a brand for women, for awakened souls and spiritual soul-led entrepreneurs called Manifesting Miracle Worker. Created it back in 2019, I believe, is when I like first really started to use the name. And it's a community, and it's also a home for my courses, my programs, everything that we do in this beautiful community that includes business leadership, soul-led entrepreneurship, manifestation, the deep inner healing work. And then I also bring in like, my expertise in different areas. I'm always studying, I'm always growing, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
So right now I'm sitting inside of my Akashic Oracle training, and I'm going to be bringing more of that into my work. Uh,
Amazing.
my meditation teacher training. If my meditation teacher actually hears this, he's going to be like, Amanda, why didn't you just finish the training already? I have like one little assignment I have to get in that I have not done yet. There's always reasons for everything. He's amazing though. So I have that. And also, just a lot of like the energy work that I have done, the healing work that I have done. I'm a trauma-informed mentor. That is one certification I have. The manifestation expertise, I bring this all together to help women align with their higher purpose, align with their higher selves, and bring more wealth and abundance in all ways to their lives.
Amanda, you're amazing. I have to say, I think I found you in
Love you.
2020. I remember my son was like a baby, and I remember doing like I was really trying to manifest being a stay-at-home mom, and I didn't, but I did get to drop my hours. So I'll take that. It
Oh
was
my God.
something. I don't think that being a stay-at-home mom was actually for my highest good and what I'm trying to learn in this ghetto earth school this time around. So so I think I had to go to work. But anyway, I immediately was drawn to your energy first because you're so high energy. It just I don't know how to describe it better. It's infectious almost. Like I just when I'm scrolling, I always stop and watch your stuff because you always just are just so like pleasant, and on top of that, your knowledge is really profound and you are an expert in the field. The next question
I could hear this all day, Amber. You could tell me this all day, by the way. Thank you. Thank you.
The next, I have two questions that you kind of got into a little bit.
Yeah.
The first is, I know you've helped hundreds of women, and what do you feel sets your work apart in manifestation in the body embodiment space? And then I just have kind of an add-on when you're done with that.
Yeah, I think what sets me apart is the whole journey, the
Yeah,
multidimensional journey, the
yeah.
healing, the embodiment, the soul-led intuition and the purpose and the growth. And it's which was hard for me because especially working, not just working with business coaches, but like hearing what business coaches and business mentors would say all the time. And they would tell me, oh, you have to only focus on one thing, focus on one thing, focus on one thing. And like it just never, yeah, of course I focus on one thing. I focus on this spirituality, right? But within that, it is a journey, and we need to hold space for the whole journey, right? Like even like my higher level spaces, which are all entrepreneurs, soul-led entrepreneurs, even those spaces, I have to hold space for the whole journey. I'm not going to just teach women how to make money. I'm going to teach women how to hold money and become their most empowered self as they do it and go through the healing loops and the ups and downs and all of that. And that's what I think, it's that whole journey piece that makes it the most important. And I don't see as many people doing that, which I think at the end of the day, it leads to that no matter what. And we start to understand it is about the journey. It's not about the individual pieces, it's about the whole.
I think your actions speak so much louder than your words. I remember when you shared your substance abuse story, and I was just like, wow, that was vulnerable. Like that was a big share. And I was so impressed at that. But then another thing that I was super impressed by was you hit some follower goals on social media. And then you deleted a bunch of the ones that you didn't feel good about. You got rid of the vanity metrics. I just thought that was really authentic and cool.
Thank you for paying attention to all this stuff, Amber.
In
It
a
really makes
world
me feel
full
good.
of in a world full of, people worried about perception, and it's all about the what is it called? The influencers and everything.
Yeah.
And people do look at how many followers, what's your follower count, and you were just like, screw it.
It's funny that you bring this up because there were a few lessons that came through for me this week that was kind of related to this. So, number one, first of all, I have a very old Instagram account. And what I should have done back in the day was create a brand new account for my business.
Yeah.
Instead, I decided to use my college account for my business account. And even though I have tons of aligned followers, people who really were receptive to my work, I also had all of these old friends, old people, old followers from beauty blogging days, dead accounts, people who didn't even have accounts anymore. And it was just like energetically, I felt like it was weighing me down, number one, because I had well over 10,000 followers, and that was a big goal of mine for a while. Energetically, I felt like it was weighing me down. And then number two, I realized Instagram, since they hate me and old accounts, Instagram, I hate you too, Meta. Uh, at at a certain point, I realized things really shifted where they would start to show, and they keep doing this anyway, but it's a little different now. They would only show my stuff to my older followers. Like that's it. Not people who had were interested in my work, not people who were really interacting with me and messaging me. Only people who had followed me that had absolutely no interest in my work at all whatsoever. And because of that,
Ah, that's so
I
true.
know. And because of that, it would just like push my work out to more people that didn't care about my work. And then it would kind of just stop. And like I realized that the people who were meant to see it weren't seeing it, number one. So I decided to start, and I'm still deleting a lot of followers. Like I went from, I don't know, 12,000 or 13,000 to now I'm around 6,000. And
Yeah.
it's amazing because Instagram just keeps finding bottom of the barrel followers. They just keep pulling from this bottom of the barrel that I didn't even know existed anymore.
Oh,
The most
God.
brilliant minds in the world here at Meta. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was also like an energetic thing. And it's funny because there was a lesson that came through this week. I realized there are still people out there who and I have a lot of clients that have worked with bigger name coaches, people who have more followers and things like that, and they didn't really get the results that they wanted. Then they
Yeah.
come into my world and they really collapse time really, really fast, like within a matter of weeks. And this happens, I hear it all the time. So it was kind of like something just came into my field that I realized there are still people out there that they're going to always pick the people with a higher number of followers. They're always going to pick the people. There's that. But it was a
Yeah.
story I had to sit with because it was like, wait a minute. I'm bringing up this story that I'm not good enough, that my work doesn't speak for itself, etc. And what I have witnessed out there also doesn't speak for itself. I have all of this evidence to the contrary. I know people who have a couple hundred followers and they are making so much money, like ridiculous amounts of money. It is all relative. It's just all about you and the message you're here to share with the world. So it's funny that you brought that up now because I had a little bit of a new lesson, a deeper lesson in that came up this week. It was interesting. Yeah.
Awesome. I hope it was affirmation for you then.
Yeah, it was good. I was actually, yeah, you're right. I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
You mentioned being trauma informed, and I absolutely love that because I just think trauma has so much to do with like big trauma, little trauma, with who
Yeah.
we are as adults and people. And anyway, your business is built around embodiment and reality creation, but taught in a grounded, trauma informed way. And how did you develop that approach?
Yeah. Once I started to get into the deeper elements of healing on my own journey and realizing that there was only I could only go so far with manifestation. Like I could only go so far because there was so much underlying all of these things that I wanted, there was so much underlying it that said I couldn't have it. I shouldn't have it. I'm guilty. I'm shameful. I have shame. I have fear. I don't like myself. I hate myself. Like all of these underlying feelings. And that's what's going to create the reality, right? The way we feel and what we believe to be true about ourselves is always going to be the fabric that really creates the reality. And embodiment's a big piece of that because when we're embodying that next level self, that means that we believe we are this amazing next level version of us, right? That's why the beliefs and the embodiment go together hand in hand. Um, but I realized there is so much that comes out on the spiritual journey, but also on the entrepreneurial journey. Like these are women putting themselves out there, sometimes for the first time in their lives, doing work of their own, building wealth of their own for the first time in their lives, telling themselves, yeah, I'm worthy, I could do this. And then all of these shadows will come up to the surface that will challenge it. And it's not because, oh, you're not meant for this. It's because you got to look at this if you really want to expand. Because the next level version of you, they hold a whole entire new set of beliefs and a whole entire new set of feelings that they hold and thoughts about themselves. So we have to look at the things as they come up. And I realize like this is a healing journey, like the business journey and the spiritual journey.
Oh,
They are
100%.
so deeply
Yeah.
intertwined with the healing journey. But as facilitators and as mentors, we have to be smart about it, gentle about it, and understand, there's people out there who call themselves trauma coaches and I do trauma healing, and then the people are worse off than when they started
Yeah.
because like they just don't know really how to hold space for people. It is so important that we do this work in integrity and that we understand we are working with another human being and their energy and their patterns and their lives and that's why again the multidimensional journey is so important. Like we keep going back to that. That's like a really major big theme here for a reason, I feel like.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
multidimensional, the whole journey. Yeah, because it's like it's so deeply intertwined that it's necessary, but we have to do it in integrity, easily, gently, for these humans that trust their lives with us in many ways.
Oh my gosh, we could do a whole nother podcast episode just on that.
Part two.
Yeah. A lot of women want to build their solo business, but have no idea where to start. What did those early days look like for you?
Oh my gosh, I just posted a ton of content.
Yeah.
I just posted content. I did it everywhere. Then I took a few years off because I was healing alcohol addiction and I really spent it was a good year, if not two, just me basically. And I um traveled and I healed and I sat with a lot of very gifted healers and facilitators. And when I came back, everyone was like right past the TikTok craze. Like TikTok had been out for like a year or so at that time, and I wish I had jumped on at the early part. But
Okay.
then I decided, let me open up a TikTok account. Let me start a TikTok account. And that's like I felt like I was doing everything all over again from the beginning in a way because all I did was I just posted content. I just started to talk about the thoughts in my brain, the things I
Mhm.
believe, the things that I learned, and I just got my own message out there and I developed my message after a while just doing it. You got to just do it and do it messy. Like dive in head first
I
and
feel
stop worrying about a million certifications before you do it. Like honestly.
that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have such a strong brand identity. It's pink, it's feminine, empowering, and deeply spiritual. Was that intentional or something that naturally evolved?
It's very intentional, but it also naturally evolved.
I just feel like
It,
it is
I
your
love that.
energy.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's funny that you asked that too, because I'm in the process of moving onto a new Kajabi account. So I'm still going to be on Kajabi, but now I'm moving all of my pages, all of my courses to the new account, and I am updating everything, like everything. So, and
Ooh.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I want like more purples in there. And I want more like, I always put green, like a light green for money, but like pink is always going to be the, you know what? Today I'm like looking in my closet. I'm like, what sweater should I wear? I'm like, "Oh, I haven't worn the pink one in a while.
Like that, I haven't worn my pink one in a while.
That's a pink one too. It's like the same
Yeah.
color pink.
Yeah.
It's a pink day.
And I'm not like a
Well,
pinky person, so
I'm a very pinky person. Like everything I own, my microphone is pink.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, intentional. I love that you asked me that because it's gonna be, there's always gonna be pink, but it's like pink, kind of like a mint light green
Yeah.
and purple. Yeah.
It's good. It's you, and I can see your stuff in my mind's eye when I close my eyes. What were some of the biggest lessons you learned while building the manifesting miracle worker into what it is today?
I think like the biggest lesson is to listen to yourself, to listen to your own channel.
Oh,
Like I
sorry,
can't
that was my sacral just like totally agreeing with you there.
I can't explain how much I felt like not only did I feel like I lost myself, but like I would try everything. This isn't working, so let me try this fix. This isn't working, so like always looking for something to fix. Always looking for something to fix. Then I would look at other people and I would gain inspo. And even at the time, like I had mentors who told us, look at other people in your niche so you could get inspiration from them. And it was like even now, like I'm seeing like, some of my mentors just go completely the other direction. Like they would say, "Oh, I used to try to look at for other inspiration. Now I don't at all." And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, because when you do, especially in such a noisy online space, it's like you're just constantly questioning yourself, constantly second guessing yourself, constantly looking for more to fix, constantly comparing yourself to everyone else. And like when we're channeling our work of the soul, right? Like our purpose, like we are such sovereign beings here, all of that can get so distorted when we're
Mhm.
listening to everybody and everything else. And it's that's probably the biggest lesson. I wasted a long time. In fact, I feel like in many, many ways, I wouldn't have struggled for 4 whole years in my business if I learned that lesson early on, but it all happens for a reason.
So crazy. This is too real, Amanda. Too
Yeah.
real. I
Yep.
think I was just telling a friend last night, I gave so much of my power away listening to other people who
Yeah.
I trusted their advice more than my intuition to the
Yes.
point where I it's almost like I couldn't even hear my intuition anymore because I started confusing my intuition with discomfort, I think. But really,
Wow.
it was my intuition telling me no. And then I was like, no, it's just discomfort because it's something new. But no, my body was telling me no because I was listening to the guidance from people that, like you were saying, like the mentors that weren't giving the good advice. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think I would say myself about 3 years. I would have just listened
The
to my,
way you said that, like you just hit it on the head like so perfectly. It's it's
because
incredible.
I'm
Like,
living it right now.
but like yeah, okay, there are so many amazing things that we learn and we pick up as we go. But but the thing that is gonna hold you back the most is the second guessing your own self and your own voice and your own intuition.
Yeah.
It's like because it's just so harshly out of alignment with who you really are.
Yeah.
So, it just like knocks you out basically.
Oh, yeah. Knocks you out.
Lessons.
How do you stay aligned with your mission as your audience expands and your offerings evolve? We've talked about it a little bit, but as someone who's followed you for about 5 years, you're constantly either staying in alignment or pulling yourself back into alignment. Any advice with that?
I feel like that is the journey too, right? Like we're either in alignment or pulling ourselves back into alignment, right? Like and when we're out of alignment, it's a it's just like our higher selves telling us like, hey, just like look at this thing. This is why we're here, and then we kind of go back. Um It's funny that you asked that too. It's like you're so intuitive, Amber. It's amazing. Like everything that you're asking is kind of like, oh, I just thought of this, or oh, I was just doing this. So I today, I mean, not just today. I've been thinking about a new free event that I want to bring to the community. Probably not in December. Probably like the first week of January because it gets so crazy in December. And I'm sitting with it, right? Like I'm trying to let it come through me first to really sit with it. and see what I want to create and what would be the most fun for me, but also what would benefit my community, but also benefit me as, and I
Yeah.
don't mean that to sound like harshly, but in so often
Fair energetic exchange.
yes, exactly the fair energetic exchange, because there were so many times that I would just do things to give away my energy for free, and it was that people pleasing energy like all over
Yeah.
again, right? Like I have to do this to get people to like me, or I have to do this to get people to, or I have to give things away and give things away and give things away,
Yeah.
and it just created this cycle of me being right back where I started in a way, which was, not worthy, feeling unworthy of what I really wanted, or feeling unworthy of being paid at a certain level, or feeling
Yeah.
unworthy of receiving abundance for my gifts, etc., and my time and my energy, my effort. So it's like it's a much more intentional process right now, and I think that's why it's coming through me now. And like other hand though too, like I had just run a smaller group program through the whole month of November, and that came through like super fast intuitively, and I put it together super fast, and it was such a powerful portal, powerful container, and I because I trusted myself, I'm like, yes, let's do this, and I went with it. This one I'm trusting myself to kind of figure it out more first.
I love it.
Intentionally.
And I love that you do it so publicly in a world of like perfectly curated content. You're just so public about and like real. I don't know. It's so authentic and it's like a breath of fresh air on the wasteland that is Instagram. I
It
don't
is a wasteland.
know. What's one misconception about building a solo business that you wish women would stop believing?
That you have to have everything right.
Uh,
Like nothing will ever be right. Nothing will ever be perfect. Like ever. I have clients who truly believed that they had to have a million certifications, or I had clients that are like, oh Amanda, I just got this certification, that certification, so now I'm almost ready, right? Now I'm almost ready to do the thing. It's like, first of all, I started without any certifications. My
mm,
mentor started without any certifications. Like these things, what's your message is what's most important. Your journey, because we all have um our own journey to share, our own teachings to share, and it's all about you. And the hard part of that is that for so many of us that have been through difficult relationships with ourselves, the business kind of forces us to look at that relationship, forces us
mhm.
to come back into a right relationship with ourselves, maybe even love ourselves for the first time ever, you know,
Yeah,
because it's like the business itself is just so much of you. And that means the messiness, that means the craziness and the wackiness and the everything that makes you you. That's what people are really attracted to.
yeah.
Mm.
If someone listening feels stuck or right on the edge of a reinvention, what would you want her to know?
Take that leap.
Yeah.
Just move through fear. I every time you move through some kind of fear, some kind of stuckness, the answers are always right on the other side, and it's wild how it always works out that way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Amanda, for women resonating with your story, your energy, what are the different ways they can work with you or learn from you?
Yeah, so I bash Instagram a lot, but that's my main platform. You can come find me there.
It's a necessary evil at this point.
It is a necessary evil. I am on Instagram at amanda.j.may. And there's a bunch of different free resources. And you can learn more about the Manifesting Miracle Worker community at my links page, which is manifestingmiracleworker.com/links.
I
LINKS.
loved this conversation. I'm going to link everything in the show notes. Amanda, you are welcome back anytime. I loved this conversation. We definitely need a part two.
I would love that. I would
Thank
love
you
it.
so much. Thanks again.
Thank you.
For anyone who resonated with Amanda's story and her work, she's currently running a free experience called The Business of Millions. It's already underway, but you can still jump in and catch up. I'll link it in the show notes so you can access it easily. And if you love this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or leave a review. It truly helps this podcast reach more people who need these conversations. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week on Everything Embodiment.